Hey guys, my name's Triple and welcome to a video where I am doing a hardware tips you may not know when you are streaming. The first one on my list is having the correct microphone. Myself, if you look at my setup right now, I have the Blue Snowball. Excellent microphone for the quality and the price, but exactly comparable for me compared to the Blue Yeti as well. If you look on the page for the Currys and PC World, which is what the UK standard is, you guys, if you're in America, can maybe check on Best Buy or something of that nature. You will see that the Blue Snowball is £59.99, which is a lot more in people's budget who want to start streaming. If you compare that to the Blue Yeti professional microphone, it's £119, which is near enough double the amount of what people are going to pay. When you look at the Blue Snowball and Blue Yeti in comparison, the Blue Yeti does have some obvious advantages, such as the mute button, the adjustment to be able to change the gain on the front of it, and on the back of it to change different things when you are streaming on the fly. What I will say though is that I have had both of these in comparison and will say the Blue Snowball audio quality wise is more than good enough for you to be able to use when streaming for the first time and streaming for the foreseeable future. The other thing I would highly recommend is make sure you get yourself a pop filter. It gets rid of all those hitters and pss, which can sometimes interrupt your audio quality and make it sound a little less professional. Also, as I show you guys on the OBS Streamlabs as well, if this is what you guys will be using when you become to streaming, you can click simply the settings button on the microphone, which should come up as Blue Snowball, and filters. The three main filters that I have used through this is gain, which I've put at -3, noise suppression, which you can change between speaks, which is low CPU usage, and RN noise, which is high quality. Come into more of that later when it comes to different CPU usages and your PC specs. Also, I have used noise gates, which have closed threshold of -32 to -28, attack time 25, hold time 200, release time 150. This may be things that you may not know on the fly and you may need some help with. If you guys ever need a more in-depth video on this, then please let me know. But what I will say is if you follow these and just have a play around with these three main ones, you will find that your audio quality will improve a hell of a lot in comparison to what it were beforehand, and gets rid of a lot of the background noise, things like picking up PC fans, things that in the background, any other noises around you, pickups that shouldn't be there. It helps massively. The second on my list is going to be the camera setup. Now, again, I know a lot of people look into speccing into different cameras, how much they should pay, and how good the quality of the hardware should be. Now, from what I've seen, the hardware specs wise, the sweet spot for myself was finding a camera that did 1080p at 30 frames per second. This doesn't mean that if you find one less that only does 720p, it won't be good enough for your streams. I have chosen this one purely based on the fact that if I decide to stream at 1080p, as I often switch between 1080p and 720p depending on the games I am streaming and the hardware resources being taken up. As you guys can see again on PC World, the one I chose was the Sandstrom SW-Cam HD19, which cost around £50. Again, maybe different depending where you are in the world. This has a 1080 by 1920p full HD, a built-in microphone, though I do not recommend using that straight off the bat, and is compatible with most hardwares and is very easily plug in and play as well. Also, the frame of it comes with a full tilt, a rubber backing so it grips onto your monitor or wherever you decide to actually put the webcam, and also a small stand which can be very helpful if people want to be able to set up their webcam somewhere which isn't on the monitors and they want it freestanding somewhere. So it comes with a small tripod as well. Now, the third thing on this list that I would like to talk about is connecting your Ethernet cable to your PC. You can imagine that you want to be able to connect wired to your PC when streaming to get the best quality and get the best internet connection whilst you are trying to upload your data to the internet. The thing that I highly recommend is the Nano Powerline Starter Kit, which is the TP-Link AV600. This is something that I wasn't aware of straight away before streaming, and I came across it. I have purchased one and I can highly recommend it as a product. The way this product works is that you plug it into your socket, do not plug it into a power extension, and then you will find that it has an Ethernet slot underneath and you connect that directly to your router or your switch depending what you have set up. Now what you do is put the other one where you want it in the household. For myself is in my PC setup room. Connect that one up as well, switch it on, and it's as simple as hooking that up to your Ethernet cable at the back. What this does is create a wired connection for your Ethernet without you having to lead a big Ethernet cable all the way around the house. You will find the difference if you take a look at the speed tests, that you'll find a notable increase as your electrical circuit is used as an Ethernet cable throughout and will send the data throughout the house. That's where you have a wired connection without all the mess of having to put up a 10-meter cable. The fourth thing I want to touch on is definitely PC specs. We can all have all the setup of the webcam, the microphone, the monitors and everything else, but it does not help if you do not have the PC specs to go with it. The thing that I mean in here is making sure you've got yourself a good graphics card and a decent CPU to run these things, and obviously enough RAM for your resources. The thing that I will highly recommend straight away when you are setting up OBS is any up-to-date graphics cards. For myself, I have an RTX 2060 Super, is to check that you are running your encoding at RTX NVENC new instead of software X264. This will use your graphical power from your GPU instead of your CPU, which you want to be able to do, as your GPU will be able to take a lot more of the resources on board if it is more up to date. Also, I highly recommend to check Task Manager if you feel like you are having any issue. See what is potentially bottlenecking your computer. That way that you can find out what to upgrade if that is what you are looking into doing. Again, this is something that not everybody wants to do, and if you want to be able to change what you are doing, and if you haven't got the hardware resources, then have a mess around. Change your stream layouts to be streaming at 720p, maybe do it at 48 FPS instead of the 60, and you'll find that sometimes some things will work, some games will need different adjustments depending on the hardware resources being taken up by that game as well. Also, when you're streaming, do not be afraid to stream it on another device as well, in which I mean watching it, messing around with chat and all the moderation things, because that will save resources on your computer, and also if you have a single monitor setup, also saves the space as well. Speaking of hardware setups and monitors, the fifth thing I want to talk about on this list is going to be a dual monitor setup. Again, I know that not everybody has the hardware resources and the space to be able to set up a dual monitor setup. Myself, I have set it up with my 2060 Super. One is running the HDMI and one is running through the DVI slot. But again, if you do have those graphical setups and PC specs which are good enough, your PC will take a small hit by a couple of frames on some games having the dual monitor setup, but it is extremely useful for when you're doing things on the fly between your PC and OBS, chatting and editing, etc. Some people may say that they have a streaming PC on the side as well, but again, I know this can come with the expense, and myself personally, I'd only want to be able to do it all from one PC. Overall, guys, I hope some of these tips and tricks will be helpful to you, as I know a lot of times YouTube videos just cover the basics on what you need for setting up, but I've tried to go in a little bit more into depth to help you guys on the situation of what you should have, how you should be setting it up, and also little things like the Ethernet cable, which can be useful for when you are streaming in another room. If you enjoyed this video, guys, please subscribe to this channel. I will be uploading more tips, tricks and anything else along from my Twitch channel, which I would also ask you guys to check out, which is Triple Free Gaming. All the links will be in the description. I will be streaming on Twitch. Usually my schedule is Monday, Wednesday, Friday and Saturday, but I sometimes do stream outside of that as well, depending on circumstances. And I like to stream a variety of games, which sometimes I will do compilations or snippets from as well on the YouTube channel. Again, as said, links will be in the description. I hope you guys take care. Hopefully I'll see you in the streams. If not, then I will say see you in the next video. Have a good one. Bye bye.